Morning, girls. Hope all of you and your families are safe and well. So, today we continue with the first chapter, which is Nature and Purpose of Business. The topic that we will be doing is the types of economic activities. But as I told you in the previous class, before we go on to the new topic, we must recall what we studied in the previous class. So let's start off with the meaning of business. Business is a major economic activity concerned with the production and sale of goods and services required by the people. The purpose of business is to earn money by satisfying people's demand for goods and services. So here they are saying business is an economic activity. It deals with the production and supply of goods and services, and that it is done in order to earn a profit by satisfying the needs of the people. Then, activities which are undertaken not with the economic object but with love, sympathy, sentiments, patriotism are called as non economic activities. So, non economic activities are those that are done without the intention of earning money. That means they have no intention of earning money, they are doing it out of love, sympathy, sentiments, etc. Then we went on to learn about the characteristics of the business. So, there are six characteristics. The first one is it's an economic activity, production and procurement of goods and services. It deals with the sale or exchange of goods and services, dealing in goods and services on a regular basis. It has the profit motive, and there is an element of risk. Now we go on to today's topic, which is types of economic activities. So, economic activities, as I told you earlier, they have something to do with money. They are done in order to earn a profit. Every individual follows an occupation according to his liking and training. Thus, the livelihood of people or economic activities can be classified into three major categories. So, here they are telling us that economic activities can be classified into three categories. The first one is business, then profession, and finally employment. So, we're going to learn about these three a little more in detail. But before we go on, girls, if you've noticed, all these three, that is business, profession, and employment, all these three are done with the intention of earning money. So please keep this in mind. All these three are done in order to earn some money, okay? That's why they are called as economic activities. Now let's see what they're saying about business. We already know it because we just revised it this morning as well as to what a business is. Never mind, let's just go through it anyway. Business refers to those economic activities which are concerned with the production and distribution of goods and services and carried on a regular basis with the object of earning profit. Those engaged in business earn income in the form of profit. So you can see from that picture that I've put up over there, that person is a businessman and he is dealing with furniture, mainly chairs, different types of chairs he is selling, and that is his business. Next one is profession. While I read it, you look at the picture, okay? A profession may be defined as an occupation which involves the rendering of personnel services of a special and expert nature. So, profession means something that it's a kind of a service that you are providing, and that particular service is of a special nature, okay, because it is a kind of an expert service. Now, let's read on, okay? Then we will look at that picture and try to understand that in detail. These require special knowledge and skill and are generally subject to guidelines or codes of conduct laid down by professional bodies. Example: doctor, the Medical Council of India; lawyer, the Bar Council of India; chartered accountants, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So they are saying now profession means uh, It is something that needs you to have some expert knowledge. Good examples of professionals will be like, now you look at the picture, okay? Doctors, lawyers, engineers, chartered accountants, all these people come under professionals because they are having some kind of professional knowledge. For example, a doctor. A doctor is someone who has studied medical science and they know everything about it. So they have specialized knowledge in that. Same way, an engineer. He may be a civil engineer who deals with construction. So he's an expert in that field. Same way, a lawyer. He knows law in detail and he's an expert in that field. So these people come under professionals. And what they do is called a profession because to do it you need some kind of expert knowledge. So in the picture I think we can see there's a doctor there. She's wearing a blue uniform. Then there are some other doctors as well, they're wearing white uniforms. Then looks like there is an engineer who's into construction. Then there seems to be a lawyer, and I think the others are chartered accountants. So they are all professionals, okay? And what they do is called a profession. Then the next one, the last one, there is employment. Employment is a kind of human occupation where a person, also called as an employee, performs the work assigned to him by his employer under an agreement or rules of service in return for a remuneration called salary or wage. Example, people work in factories, government departments, clerks, security guards, etc. So they're saying anybody who does a job for which he is being paid a salary or a wage is known as an employee, and what he does is called employment. So that who all can come under this category? People who work in factories, uh, government departments, security guards, all of them, they are working for the sake of earning some money, okay? So they all come under employment. What they are doing is some kind of employment. They sometimes don't really need any expert knowledge. Please note, girls, they need some knowledge to do the particular job, but they do not need specialized knowledge. If they needed specialized knowledge, then they will come under professionals. They won't come under employment. Employment means yes, you need some knowledge, but not expert kind of knowledge. That's why this is called employment, okay? Now, let us look at this chart. This chart is comparing business, profession, and employment. We're going to see how these three are different from each other. So, first we look at that basis column, the first column, which is basis, mode of establishment. Mode of establishment means how it is going to be set up or started. A business established by the decision of the entrepreneur after fulfilling certain legal formalities. So, a business is started off when the businessman decides to start it off, okay? Then, and after he has finished some legal formalities and all that, only then it can start, but it starts when the businessman decides to start it. Profession. It requires membership of respective professional body and certificate of practice for the establishment. So you can only become a professional or start off a profession if you become a member of a professional body and if they give you a certificate telling you that yes, you are ready to practice. Remember in the previous slide, in profession we saw if you are to be recognized as a doctor, then you have to be a part of the Medical Council of India. Same way, if you want, you have to be recognized as a lawyer, you have to be a part of the Bar Council of India. Okay, so that's why they're saying that you need to be a part of this particular professional bodies and you need to have a certificate also saying that you are ready to practice as a doctor or engineer, lawyer, whatever it is. Then, employment. Appointment letter and service agreement between employer and employee is required. Okay, so when can you start working as an employee? Only after they give you your offer letter or appointment letter. That offer letter or appointment letter is a letter which the company gives you wherein they are asking you to come and join them. They are saying, yes, you have all the qualification and experience required, so please join our company. That's the kind of letter they give you. That letter is called an offer letter, okay? After you receive that only, you can start working in that company. Next basis, nature of work. So, under business, it says it is concerned with production, purchase, and sale of goods and rendering service of a commercial nature to the public. Girls, here rendering means giving, okay? So, they're saying what kind of work a business does? It deals with the production, purchase, and sale of goods and services to the people. Under profession, it says giving or rendering of personal service of a special and expert nature. So, what happens under profession? They give us their expert advice or their expert service. Like, for example, a doctor. You have um, some kind of a problem, like say maybe fever or a cough or something. You go to the doctor and he checks you, and then he gives you his expert advice and he gives you the medicines or whatever you need. So under profession, it is service that is being provided. Under employment, employee performs duty as per an agreement of the employment. So an employee, what does he do? He does whatever work is given to him by his employer. Now, the third base is qualification. For under business, it says no minimum qualification is required to run a venture. So, they're saying if you want to become a businessman, there's no real qualification that you need to have. Then, profession. Minimum educational qualification and training in the specific field is required as prescribed by the professional body. Okay. So, for you to become a professional, you need to have some kind of expert qualification. You need to be an expert in a particular area. Okay. Then only you can be called as a professional. Then, employment. Qualification and training as prescribed by the employer for the performance of duties as per service contract. So, for this, you need to have the qualifications that the employer needs you to have. For example, if you are joining a company uh, in order to or they've taken you in the company to maintain the accounts of the company, you are like the accountant, then they will need you to have a degree like bcom or mcom, that kind of degree wherein you have learned accounts. Okay, so you will be employed only if you have that kind of qualification. That qualification should match your job profile. Then, fourth basis, reward or return. Under business, it says businessman gets a profit as a return, as a reward for his work. So, what is a reward the businessman gets for his work? He gets profit. Professional, let's see, professional gets a professional fee for the service rendered by him. So, what does a professional get? He gets a fees. So, even the lawyer, doctor, and all, no, we pay them fees. We don't pay them salary or wage. We pay them some money, and that comes under fees. It is called fees. Okay. Then, under employment, return for an employee for uh, his performed duty is called as salary or wage. So, what does an employee get in return? He gets a salary or a wage. Now, the fifth base is capital investment. Businesses require capital investment according to its size and nature. Now, capital investment, girls, here means how much of money do you need to carry out the business or to do it? How much of money that you need to invest? So, they're saying in the case of a business, it depends upon the size of the business and what type of business you are planning to do. Then, under profession, it says limited capital is needed for establishment. You don't really need too much of money in order to establish a profession. And then, under employment, it says no capital is required. You don't need to invest any money. Okay. Then, sixth one, risk. Under business, it says profits are uncertain and irregular, risk is present. So they say under business, you will have to take risk, lot of risk is there. Under profession, it says fee is generally regular and certain, some risk. Okay, so here they're talking, girls, in terms of money. Okay, so let's go back to the previous one. In the case of business, they are saying yes, it's very risky because we don't know if we are going to make a profit or not. Maybe some months we'll make a profit, and other months maybe we may end up making a loss. So because of that, that kind of risk is there, financial risk is there. Then in profession, they are saying there's generally no risk, because the fee is usually paid to the professional. But they're saying some risk is there, because suppose the person doesn't pay you your fees after you have given your expert service to them, that could be a problem. Then under employment, it says fixed and regular pay, no or little risk. So they're saying generally you will get your salary. There's little or no risk at all involved in employment. Transfer of interest. Look at the next basis. It says transfer of interest. Transfer of interest is common with some formalities. That means transfer of interest here means if you want to sell off your business. Okay. So if you want to sell it off, that's what it means. So under business, it says yes, transfer of interest. You can sell your business to somebody else after you complete some formalities. Under profession, it says transferability is not possible because it requires specialized knowledge and skill. You can't transfer your profession. That means you if you are a doctor, you can't give your doctor thing to somebody else. Okay, they can never get your doctor title. So that's what they're saying. You cannot give your profession, sell your profession off to somebody else where you're giving your title to someone else. No. And even under employment, it says not possible. You can't be an employee of a company and give that to somebody else. Like next day, someone else comes in your place and work because you gave him the right to come and work. No, you can never do that. You are an employee in the company, and that can't be given away to someone else. Only if the company decides to send you off and take somebody else in your place, yes, that is possible, because that is a right of the company. But you don't have a right to bring and keep someone else in your place. Okay, and because you have sold your employment status to someone else, that is not possible. The eighth one is code of conduct. So that means like certain rules to be followed. Under business, it says no prescribed code of conduct. That means there are no rules or regulations like as such to be followed under a business. Under profession, it says code of conduct prescribed by the professional bodies need to be followed. So remember earlier I said you have to be a member of those committees. Like if you're a lawyer, you have to be under the bar council. That so those people will have some rules that you need to follow. Under employment, it says norms of behavior laid down by the employer are to be followed. So whatever rules and regulations your employer tells you to follow, you need to follow those. So those were the differences. Let us look at how many differences were there. So we can see that there are a total of 8 differences between business, profession, and employment. Keep that number in mind, girls. Now let's do the questions. First one, the 1 mark questions we'll do. Name the economic activity in which people are rewarded with a salary or wage. So, which one is that? Can you guess? It is the third one, which is employment, because in employment only they get a salary or wage. Then, what type of economic activity is the work of a chartered accountant? Chartered accountant now comes under a professional. So, the economic activity would be profession. 2 mark questions. What are the different types of economic activities? So, there are 3 types: business, profession, and employment. Second one, what is employment? So you have that on the slide, girls, that you will have to write for 2 marks, which means I need 2 sentences about employment. Third one is, how is business different from profession? Again, if you look at the table, you just give any 2 differences between business and profession. Okay, because it's a 2 mark question, no need to say anything more, only 2 differences you give. Next, 4 mark questions. Explain any 4 differences between business, profession, and employment. So, for this, you will explain any 4, whichever is easy for you in this question, because they are asking for difference No need to give the meaning of these three, okay? Introduction, no need to give introduction. Straight away, you go on to talk about the differences, any four. How many are there totally? There are totally eight, but you will give any four only. Now, 8 mark question. Explain the difference between business, profession, and employment. So, for this, you will have to explain all the 8 points. Again, because it is differences, no need to give introduction and conclusion. Straight away, go on to explain the differences. I hope this topic was clear to you. In case you have any doubts, please WhatsApp me or call me. Thank you and have a nice day.